Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastically well. It's Connor here, and we are back with the last room mill of the winter window. There's your little summary, about a 1-minute summary there. I just wanted to do that before I got on as well. Make sure you're smashing the like button. And we're here, as I've just said, guys, with the last episode of the rumour mill for the season. And it's been a difficult one, as you can see. Grown a bit of a beard because Leeds are just taking this out of me at the minute. Yeah, so there you go. Listen, Leeds go into the window with one notable departure / arrival happening over the calendar season, which is Cody Drame allegedly forcing his move to Cardiff City. So there you go. That is the only outgoing that has been happening. So it's been a tough one. It really has. So keep getting your comments in, guys. I'm going to be chatting to you for 20 minutes or so. Morning, Connor, says James. Morning, Pat. Last one. Last one, mate. Last one. Unbelievable. It feels like, that day at school. That day at school is like the end of term. That's what it feels like right now. It's not like I don't enjoy these, but it's so much better when you're announcing players or you're able to talk about players. Matt says, morning, Connor. Do you think there's any chance of the Minamino deal happening? Too difficult for me. Yeah, we'll get into the bits of the, we just spoke about the summary there. Moses Simon been a big one. Obviously, he's at the African Cup of Nations at the minute, but Get French Football News are normally a really good source. They're essentially turning around and saying that Leeds are in for a 4.5 million bid for the Levante. The Levante player, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. It'd be a complete shot in the dark, really, but I don't think anybody knows what's going on, everybody. I don't think anybody with sort of a link to the club really has an idea what's going on, because Leeds keep it under wraps pretty well. So yeah, I wouldn't just be sort of alienating any sort of movement at the minute just based on what certain individuals are saying. I would keep it close to, I would still look at this window and hope that Leeds are going to do something. I was speaking with Brownie last night, and he said he'd be stunned if Leeds didn't do anything. But the Minamino one is really interesting because, obviously, as you saw there with the little bit of the recap at the start, it looks like it wouldn't be dead in the water in terms of Leeds being able to get the being interested in the player. But they've just left it too late if they are interested. I mean, it looks like foreign nationals can't get into Japan at the minute. Obviously, Minamino is away with Japan for his international duty. So, I mean, it would take a massive... I mean, I don't know how Leeds would be able to do that. We'd have to get a representative to get in there on the last day. It'd be a rush. It'd have to be approved by government. It just will not happen. It just won't happen. So yeah, Minamino, that is not going to be happening for me. Kim's in the building. Hi, Conor McGilligan. Great to see your videos. Do you think any transfers will get done? No, Kim, I don't. That's my honest answer. I don't like, I don't like saying that, to be quite honest with you. I don't like being negative with regards to transfers. Like, I'd love for the club to be able to do something, but I just can't see it happening. I think they've left it too late. I don't know whether or not, I don't know sort of whose fault that is. I simply don't blame Victor Orta for a lot of this, because I think he's been guided. I think he's been guided by several people. I think, he has to be guided by what Marcelo Bielsa wants in his squad. If he's got a shortlist of 10 players and turns around to Marcelo Bielsa and says, look, here are these players. Bielsa comes back and says no to any of them. What can Victor do? What can he do? We will be in a scenario where we have Jonathan David, Noah Lang, amongst a whole array of others. If it was just up to Victor Orta, signings like Ryan Kent, Daniel James, Rodrigo are not Victor Orta signings. They are not Victor Orta signings. So yeah, listen, it's very complicated, a Leeds transfer window. We all know that, because there's obviously pressure from above. It seems like everybody, in my opinion, has sort of different ideas. I think Victor Orta will get massively frustrated in these months. I genuinely believe that. And Rads probably has his own ideas as well. From what we heard before, Rads was the one who pushed the Rodrigo deal when it was happening. And obviously Marcelo Bielsa has his targets, Dan James being a prime example of that. Morning, Connor. Chin up. Yeah, hopefully. Pat P, I know it's Monday morning, but we have a post window pint, mate. Yeah, it's deadline day. But for Leeds fans, it's just Monday, isn't it? Let's have a look. Many rumours about wide midfielders surfacing. Why, when we have plenty of them? Yeah, no, Kim, it's a good point. It's a difficult one, isn't it? With wide midfielders, it's like obviously Moses Simon as well, another one. Ryan Kent, another one. This is Brian Kent's actually not. It's not from a bad source as well. This is just a guy on Twitter who normally gets things pretty spot on. He got things spot on about the Newcastle takeover. Chris Wood. I think he got a couple of Celtic signings bang on as well. I'm not saying he's going to be the voice of reason, but if you go over to my Twitter, I've retweeted him as well. But he seems to get a few bits right. So, and he's gone into detail about Leeds wanting Ryan Kent. But at the minute, it's all speculative, isn't it, guys? We have no sort of links, no credible links where we're thinking, bang, yeah. Have a pint on me, mate. You're doing a great job. Cheers, mate. We're trying to keep it moving. Craig's in the building. Spent too long on one person. That was never going to happen. Now time to get a genuine signing. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. It seems like the Brendan Aaronson one was always going to be difficult. For me, I've said this before on the debrief. They should have known about that in November. They should have known about that in December. A Champions League player, a player who's not been at the club for 2 years, which is normally Salzburg's expiry date. They have a player on the books for 2 years, then sell them on. They should have known all this. I don't know if they did know all this. I'm not sure, but it just seemed a little bit strange and odd that Leeds started moving on it mid-January, from what we heard from the European side of things. And then it just didn't happen. It's just not happened, and they were being blocked every single time. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Leeds go in again for Brendan Aaronson. Are they going to get to a point where they're going to get really sort of irked about it, and they're going to think to themselves, look, we need to get something done here. Not only do we need to appease the fans, which shouldn't be on the mind, but it will be on the mind as a business. But we need to sort of help the state of the squad out, of course. We need to help the state of the squad out. We need to move on this. So it'd be interesting to see if Leeds go in for a third bid. Obviously, they put 20 million quid in for him. Are they going to go for 25, 30 million? It'll be interesting to see. But for a lot of people saying the value for him is going to depreciate in the summer, no, it ain't, because Brendan Aaronson's going to probably have a decent second half of the season. Thus, the price for him is going to go up. James in the building. Hi, mate. Would you be happy if we come out and said we'd signed Aaronson for the summer? No, James, I wouldn't, because I think we're gambling. As I keep saying, it's Russian roulette, mate. I don't understand this whole Leeds fan mentality of we're already safe. I don't get it. And listen, I don't think you should sign and be reactive based on where we are in the division, but I think you need to be reactive to the squad size and the squad depth at the minute and the injury pattern, which keeps coming. I keep hearing all this. Well, we've got enough quality on the pitch. Well, let's hope that quality's on the pitch, shall we? Let's hope Rafinha doesn't get an injury. Let's hope he doesn't have a bout of COVID. Because if he does, whatever you may say about the last 2 games, which have, yes, other players have stepped up, but throughout the entire season, our main man has been Rafinha. He's been absolutely pivotal. Whereas last season, we had a lot of main men, didn't we? We had Harrison, we had Bamford, we had Dallas, we had obviously Rafinha back then as well. So we had a lot of people contributing to goals. This season, mainly over the whole season, the trajectory has been Rafinha, and he's involved in every single goal, every single bit of play. He might not get the assist, but he's involved in it. He's creating space. He's everywhere. So, the West Ham game, the prime example of that, So, yeah, I think I wouldn't be happy with that, because we're just gambling. It's, we'll get to the summer. Well, we're going to get to the summer in the Premier League. Is that what's going to happen? Because let's hope so. Because how I'm looking at it now, every club around us is strengthened. Every club around us is strengthened, bar Norwich, which are a self-sustainable model. But I still think Norwich will go down anyway. But yeah, I just think it's a risk. It's a huge, huge risk. You look at Newcastle at the minute. They brought Guimaraes in, obviously. They brought Chris Wood in. They brought Trippier in. It looks like they're going to get Dan Burn done. Dan Burn, a very good deal, by the way. Dan Burn's been one of the overperformers for Brighton this year. A lot of people sleep on him. He's a Geordie lad. That's a good move for Newcastle if they bring him in. Look like they're bringing a goalkeeper in, potentially Dean Henderson. So you're looking at Newcastle probably getting out of it with the quality they're able to bring in. So Newcastle, for me, are going to get out of it. I've been impressed by that Guimaraes signing. I think if they get a couple more done today in key positions, they could sort the spine of the team out. Burnley, bringing Weghorst in and Orsic, they are better as a 2 than Chris Wood. Better as a 2 than Chris Wood. So teams around us are strengthening. So that I don't know what to suggest. We've got the thinnest squad in the league with the highest injury rate, and teams around us have strengthened. So this whole rhetoric of, we're fine, we've got enough quality. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. That's nothing. It's not negativity. Let's look at the facts. It's me being honest with you, me being transparent with you. You'll get some creators just saying, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Based on what? Based on what it's fine? Faith and hope. Well, faith and hope. It's sort of powder puff stuff for me. I try look at exactly what's going on. Could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. Another 49ers wanted a countryman, but to only target one for sale is terrible business. A fan killer window. It's disheartened me. It massively has. Like let's look at last window when the other window. Sorry, when we were bringing in all these players and listen, it was amazing. We were so positive going into it. The Premier League window. Listen, the summer window, I still think we should have done more, but it wasn't a horrendous window. But to do nothing at all. Think about it. We've done nothing, no business at all. We've not even seen key players go, so we can free up the wage budget a little bit, look at a bit more of a long-term plan, see what's happening, bring in sort of let's say hypothetically, let Rodrigo go, so Lewis Bate can sort of cultivate his way into the side. We've not seen that, even though we've been told that the young players will not be blocked, even though you are getting, the young players being blocked now. It's difficult. Everton's a must-win game. It is, but once again, Everton bringing in Donny van der Beek, Everton bringing in Frank Lampard, who will just absolutely love to play against Leeds. So they're going to have a boost. So it's a big game against Everton, but I'm looking at that Everton game now and thinking, it's a bit tougher. It is a bit tougher. Donny van der Beek, 6-month loan. Why could we not have done that? Players available today that Leeds can get done. And I'm just praying. It's not reactionary. I've said this now for 4 months. For the January window, we just need some bodies in. 1 or 2 bodies in. And it can be long-term. It can be a long-term vision. I keep saying this on this channel. It's boring. But it's a long-term vision. You can bring players in now who potentially could fit another manager, who potentially could, fit the side in a year's time as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Just reading through some of your comments. We are in a relegation fight. It was always going to be this way this year. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an argument for that. Definitely an argument. I read this morning that the Donny move was blocked. Well, interesting. I read last night that it was pretty much done. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Joe Hunter, yeah, Joe just said that transfer deadline day, or if you're a Leeds fan, Monday. But yeah, I mean, Pat's in the building. Lewis O'Brien, last minute 10 mil deal. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Lewis O'Brien, if Lewis O'Brien came in, I'd be happy with that. Obviously, I've told you guys millions of times that I cover Huddersfield and I like Lewis O'Brien, I really do. But I'd like Lewis O'Brien to come in with another body as well, because Lewis O'Brien's not going to fit in straight away, is he? He's not going to get ahead of Matthias Klick. That's not going to happen. He's not going to get ahead of Stuart Dallas when he comes in. So is he going to feature for the next season? He's not. It's not even about an adaptation process. He just won't feature. And then on the premise of what Angus Kinnear says, if you bring Lewis O'Brien in, who's a young lad in central midfield, that's blocking Lewis Bate, which is what his reasoning is. So, yeah, this is why it's just all a bit confusing at the minute, because, yeah, and it just seems with Somerville going, potentially that's the only thing that's going to be potentially getting done. But a lot of news as well around Calvin Phillips and Rafinha. It looks like West Ham have actually sort of done that, but it'd be interesting whether or not Leeds have just sort of leaked that to West Ham, just because they want to get the Rafinha contract deal signed, sealed, and delivered, and then it looks great, doesn't it? It looks great on the Leeds point that we've managed to stave off interest from West Ham United, and we've managed to get Rafinha down on a contract. So obviously that's it's a PR genius move, isn't it? Leaking a bit of information to the press saying West Ham have made a bid. It just seems a bit odd, West Ham coming in for Rafinha. I just don't know how much I believe that. I don't know how much I believe that, to be quite honest with you. But listen, if they have, it'd be interesting, won't it, to see. I mean, if I was looking at Rafinha, this is no disrespect to West Ham, but Rafinha or Calvin Phillips, if they were to move on, I mean, it's got to be. You're looking at a top club. That's no disrespect to West Ham, but you're looking at elite clubs, like regular Champions League football. So I don't think that would ever materialise anyway, to be quite honest with you. But there's an argument that Leeds have got to do something like that in the window. A lot of people will hate that. I'm going to get absolutely slammed for it. But the stock of Calvin Phillips now is still high. he's turning 27 years old. He does coop a lot of injuries. He does. Look at his injury career. His injury in his career, sorry, it happens. Calvin Phillips picks up a lot of injuries per season. You look at him in comparative to maybe a Declan Rice, let's say. Declan Rice plays a lot more football than Calvin. So when the stock is high of Calvin, you look at when Leicester came up, we keep talking about copying that model. N'Golo Kante moved on from Leicester to Chelsea. They then recouped the money sort of a couple of years later, I believe it was a year or two later. They then brought Tielemans in the central midfield. They were able to do that. So when a player's stock is high, you have got to cash in. So I don't know whether or not Leeds will be looking at that, but I wouldn't look at that and think, oh no, that's horrendous. That's this, that, and the other. Because if Leeds are to move forward, players have to be sold. Players have to be sold. Your big assets have to be sold. They do. And especially with Radrizzani continuing to talk about this sort of Leicester model that he wants to recoup, it's evident that he's talking about outgoings as well, not just incomings. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer. I don't know whether or not Leeds would recoup the value for Calvin or Rafinha. I don't think both of them would go. That would be suicide. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Any news on Rodrigo to Barca? I mean, that's one that I would 100% back. 100% back. I would. That would be fine. That's not based on Rodrigo as an individual, as a person, whatever. But if we're able to, as I keep saying, recoup good stock for him, recoup him at a good transfer level, which he's at now. I say a good transfer level, probably half the value we got for him. That'd be fine. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, that'd be absolutely fine. As we keep saying, you need to ship players on as well, not just bring them in. Because that's not how football works. It's not Championship Manager. Don't be silly. Phillips and Rafinha will stay. Fair enough. Too late for Rodrigo to go now. If he goes, we have no time to replace him. That is true. But at the same time, Craig, I would be definitely on the sort of marker of as I've just said, selling him when his stock is relatively high. We wait until the summer. That's going to depreciate. His value is going to go down. He's going to be older. I think he's turning 30, is he? Or he's already 30. He's only getting, as I said, he's only getting older. His value will be going down. You've got to do it when an individual stock is high, which is relatively high at the minute. And if he's wanting to get into the Spain squad for Qatar, that will never happen. But if he is trying to get into that Spanish squad, he needs to be playing regular first team football, which I don't think he'll be doing with Leeds. So a replacement, yeah, it'd be annoying. It would be really annoying, but the Rodrigo transfer should be completely separate to Leeds bringing in players. If you're trying to see what I'm getting at, it shouldn't be Rodrigo goes, so we bring someone in. That shouldn't be how it is. It should just be Rodrigo goes, and we've already got a plan. I'm not a Leeds fan, but have you genuinely brought no one in? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. Barca are going for Aubameyang and Morata. Can't see Rodrigo going now. Exactly. Yeah, Aubameyang looks like he's going to get done today, so I'd be surprised. But Barcelona's transfer plan is bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, Kennedy is an interesting one, isn't it? What do you think of the rumours of Kennedy on his way after a loan in Brazil? Yeah, he came back from Flamengo in Brazil, did Kennedy, and it looks like, apparently, according to some sources, he's an alternative for Minamino. So Kennedy potentially coming into Leeds United. Obviously, a Chelsea winger. He was a fan favourite at Newcastle from January 2018 to summer of 2019. His best spell, as I said on the recap, was sort of at Granada in La Liga. I think he scored 14 goals in 44 appearances. At Newcastle, he was a bit of a fan favourite, but I think that's because Newcastle were absolutely turgid at the time. But yeah, he played under Rafa Benitez. I don't really see how he'd fit, to be honest, but I don't know. At the minute. It seems, I don't know. Just seems a bit of a wayward link, but as I keep saying, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But once again, it looks like a very tough deal to get done. Apparently, Kennedy's not convinced from what I've read. So there you go. Probably because it's a last minute deal, which he's not heard of. But listen, you get a lot of these last minute deals, so you can't counteract that. But it just seems a bit of a wayward one, doesn't it? It doesn't really have any solidity behind it for me. And what does Robertson Rodrigo bring to the team apart from being balls to the squad? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and this is the point now, Graham, it's got to a scenario now, mate, where we're looking at it and we're thinking Minamino, it's not going to set the world alight. He's got good pressures per 90. He's got a good attitude. But you're looking at the Leeds bench now, Rugrats, and you're thinking to yourself, I'd literally just have a player in with Premier League experience now, or players. That's what I keep thinking at the minute. It's not even about. It's not even about like just bringing quality into fit in this 11. I'm just that worried about the bench at the minute that just needs thickening up. So if you were to bring a Kennedy in, if you were to bring a Minamino in, and they were on the bench, that'd be all right. It'd be at least strengthening the squad. Strengthening the squad isn't just the midfield, isn't just the starting 11. Yeah. So look, a couple of what you guys are saying. Can't lose anyone. We need to sign a midfielder today. Would have been John Swift. Richard's in the building. Good morning, Connor. Try and someone from Leeds. Why we're putting ourselves in serious trouble. Not signing anyone. Yeah, mate. I don't know. It's a risk, isn't it? We've already spoken about it, but I just think at the minute, this being the last rumour mill of the season, I think it's just such a shame that they haven't done anything, because I think it's a risk. I think them just waiting and thinking it's good enough. I think it's a little bit naive. I think it's really, really naive. And that's from a Leeds fan bias as well. As you guys know, I don't come on here and I'm not biased at all. At all. You guys will know that. I am the furthest thing from bias you will ever find when it comes to Leeds United. I try stay in the middle. And I think that gives me a little bit more of I'm able to look at the other side of the coin a little bit more. And I think other clubs will be looking at Leeds and seeing it as a big advantage that we've not brought anyone in 100%. See what some of you guys are saying. Wrap it up soon. Alan said, morning, Connor. I agree with you. With currently have the weakest bench in the Prem. Need to get everyone back fit. When do you think Cooper will come straight back? Do you think Cooper will come back in when he's straight fit? I hope not, mate. I hope not. I really, really hope not. And that's no disparaging comment on him, but it's not jobs for the boys. It's not. It's not jobs for the boys. Pascal Struijk is an elite centre back. Robin Koch, we've barely seen Robin Koch with Pascal Struijk. The one time we did see it, it looked really, really good. I like it. Tall, strong, athletic, young. Going forward, it's a really good partnership. And then you've got Llorente there as well. You've got Charlie Cresswell. You've got Leo Yelder. You've got I'm not saying Liam Cooper is a poor centre-back. I'm not saying that. But there's got to be a point where Leeds move forward. There's got to be a point where this I'll be there for you, Friends just breaks up. It can't just be Friends FC all the time. We've got to look at it objectively. And for me, Cooper can't just get back in because he's club captain. Pascal Struijk is an unbelievable centre-back. He'll be going to the top of the game. And best believe, everybody, if he's not starting and Liam Cooper does come back in, there are going to be clubs sniffing around Pascal as well in the summer. Sorry, reality, he is a top centre-back and he plays on the left-hand side of that centre-back partnership. Can't just bring Cooper back in because he's a club. I always come on here and defend Cooper because I think he gets unnecessary flack a lot. I do. Look back at any video, any review, I always come out and defend Cooper. We've got to move forward at some point. Alan says, morning, Connor. I agree with you with the current... Yeah, we've said that. Yeah, thanks, Al. I appreciate that. But yeah, if you disagree with me, that's fine as well, pal. Connor, who'd be the one ideal signing for you this window? It would be... It would be Aaronson. I really like what I see with Brendan Aaronson. If Leeds were to launch a £32 million bid, I have no idea on the finances. So don't come back and everybody come back and say, well, Connor, we can't afford that. It's going to be like 2001 again. It's not. But if Leeds were to get one signing done, it would be our number one target, which is Brendan Aaronson. That would 100% be the one I'd go for. I really like the look of him. I've spoken to a lot of American fans about him as well. I think he fits the profile. He fits the system. And if Bielsa were to move on in the summer, if we were to move on as a project, I still think Brendan Aaronson would fit into any manager's plans because he's that sort of player. So yeah, he would be the number one signing for me, mate. But I just doubt it will happen. I doubt it will happen. Morning, Connor. Morning, Rich. All right, you all right? Yeah, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, it's the last room mill of the season, so make sure you do so. I'd love to do it throughout the day, but I'm gonna be doing stuff for Leeds United Live. So if you want to hop over there, we'll be doing some streams today as well. So make sure you head on over there. Seeing any more of your comments? Promotion friends yet? Yeah, Ben. If we lose Cock or Strout to Cooper, yeah, I mean, it's not like listen. We've got to show Cooper some respect. He's been brilliant, and I'm not for one saying I don't respect what he's done. I just think as a club, we've got to move forward, and at the minute with this window and just with sort of I do call it friends rates. We're just standing still a little bit, and I think that needs to be something that we need to just move on with, in my opinion. Michael says Burnley have the smallest budget in the PL, but even they've started to spend money on the likes of Cornet and the money they got for Chris Wood, looking to use that to recruit new players. Yeah, I was going to say, Orsic, Weghorst, and Cornet. It's not a bad front three, is it? It's not a bad front three at all. I'm trying not to cry until tomorrow. Is there a debrief tonight? There isn't, just because I'm working 12 hours. Imagine working 12 hours when Leeds aren't doing any business and you cover your club. God. I am working for the foreseeable until midnight tonight, so I will not be able to host a debrief. So hopefully we'll be back tomorrow if I'm still alive. Richard, I spot Arsenal. I think your window will be better than ours, possibly. Richard, yeah, but you have a better squad, mate, and you're not 7 points off relegation, so I guess that's a positive. Orsic starting for Dynamo Zagreb, no deal. Yeah, I've seen that actually. Scored last night, didn't he? But we've seen it happen before, where players have scored for the clubs and then moved the next day. I've heard his pay is being tripled at Burnley. So there you go, money talks. Mark Hilton, morning Connor, all the way from Western Australia, loving the content, mate. Your channel is my go-to place for Leeds news. Yeah, thanks, mate. Top man, Mark. The Aussie fans. Now Lampard is Everton's gaffer. Are they our worst of enemies? Yeah, it's going to make it a much spicier game, isn't it, mate? A much spicier game. Bill has come in and said Leeds will not get relegated. Believe in the process. Bill, listen, I can understand your optimism. I really can, mate. And listen, I'm in the boat as well. 7 points off. It's good. It is really good. We've got some seriously tricky games coming up. But I can't just completely get rid of all of my worries and just say believe in the process, have faith, trust in blah blah. It's a nonsensical argument for me, mate, because it's not looking at the situation where we're in now. And that's not being disparaging to your comment. I completely understand where you're coming from, but I think just sort of not looking at what we've done this window and not looking at the position we are in, and just saying believe the process, whatever happens. I've had that before, mate. I've got friends who are like that, and I just can't get on board with that, mate. I try to look at it objectively, but I respect your opinion, and I hope you're right. I really do. I hope you're right. Got a lot of Arsenal fans in. Love that. Morning, Connor. Arsenal fan here. We've been mocked by Newcastle signing Guimaraes. Our window's looking terrible. Yeah, I've seen that. He did it in his. He had his. I think he did a signing video, didn't he? He did a signing video, and he put Arsenal on it, which is a bit odd. But there you go. Only 25 likes, people. Come on, there's 500 of you in the building. 25, it's shocking. Come on, I appreciate that. Morning, Connor. Why are Joffrey and Bate not starting? They are ready. Yeah. Well, that's a good question, Andy. I can't answer it, mate. I really can't. So, no, Bill, no problem, mate. Always try to address everyone's comments as much as I can. Newcastle still going down. Craig, they've given themselves a chance, mate. They have given themselves a chance. But listen, I'm not saying Leeds are going down. Of course I'm not. But I just think in this window, we could have gone into this window, even with the defeat against Newcastle, we could have gone into this window and it could have been completely alleviated. Any sort of reference to relegation, you bring in certain individuals for this system, 2 players, everybody. That's all I'm saying. 2 players, not busting the bank or anything like that. Not doing any, not encroaching FFP, which we're not at the minute. Everyone keeps using that as an excuse. We're not encroaching FFP at all. just bringing two players in to bolster this side, bolster the rugrat bench, bolster the team who, for me, this year, I've shown a decreased level in performance, decreased level of running, and are in need of a cycle change. And we're not doing it. And everybody keeps saying we're going to have a summer overhaul. Based on what you're basing that on? What previous? This is just what we're hearing right now. You know, if Bielsa's still in charge, if the current system is still where it's at, there's not going to be an overhaul. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying for one Bielsa out. I know people are going to start referencing that as a thing, because they do when you criticize the manager or have an objective view, a subjective view, I should say, on what's going on. But, you know, that's not going to happen. Leeds aren't going to bring in 5 bodies in the summer and let 6 bodies go. It's just not going to happen. It is not going to happen. So, yeah, I just thought there's going to be a little bit of a change this, and I was optimistic. I genuinely was. If you look back at the 5 players that I wanted to bring in, I was optimistic. But I can't understand how people are fine with what's happened this window. I just don't get it. I cannot think like that. I just don't get it. Just don't understand it. Because as I always say, everybody, we're playing Russian roulette with our Premier League status. You watch Leeds will prove you wrong. Hope they do. Hope they do. Another weird mentality thing, isn't it? Leeds will prove me wrong, as if I'm not a Leeds fan. You know. Connor looks like a young Nicolas Cage. Oh, is that the beard? Yeah, I appreciate that. Nicolas Cage, I'll take it. Guys, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it there. I really am, because I don't want to whinge on to you guys too much. It's been 33 minutes. I don't like the rumor mill ending like this. I like it to be a sandwich, positive, maybe a bit negative, then positive. I say the negativity. I don't know how that's negative. I'm just looking at Leeds as it is, but whatever. Listen, it's been a pleasure doing the Rumour Mill. I will obviously be back with your content. If you want to see some sort of daily thing, if you want to see me coming back on here and doing stuff on the daily, I'm fine with that. Just let me know in the comments what sort of thing you'd like me to do if you enjoy these sort of things, because I love streaming to you guys every single day anyway. I just need a few ideas. So let me know in the comment section below what sort of thing you would like me to do if you wanted me to do it. Nothing rude. Keep it PG. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, of course, and we can keep this up, really, because I know a lot of you guys love the engagement. I know it helps a lot of you out mental health-wise as well, which I massively, massively stand by. So just let me know in the comment section below, and let's hope Leeds do some business today, and hopefully I can come back on here and say, guys, we've done this, we've signed so-and-so, we've signed so-and-so, it fits the system, it fits the project, it's brilliant. They've not brought in 7 players. They've just brought in the 1, maximum 2, but I'm happy. I'm happy. That's fine. Let's go into the Villa game with positivity. Let's hope so. Listen, loved it. Absolutely enjoyed it, even though we've not signed anyone. We've had a good time, haven't we? Everybody have a good day, good rest of your week. Keep smiling. Don't let Leeds affect you too much. And I'll see you in a bit.